All right, so this is going to be the story of the three moose that I was lucky enough to go out and get. With the first one, not the first one, but the last one is the largest, which is up on the fireplace, and he's over 53 inches across. This was a trip that we went on in the Roosevelt River drainage area. This picture you see here is from where we landed on the mount strip, which is where the bottom of the picture where the yellow line goes. And you follow that line up, and that is where, according to the GPS, we actually dropped the moose that I shot, and he was 1.87 miles away from camp. It was a real haul. You don't really get to see the mud that we went through, the ravine we had to go down crossing the river. But we got lucky the day we went because, as you can see here, we did get a lot of snow while we were there. This is me standing out, and we are in the middle of complete nowhere. Again, we had to be landed here by aircraft. This is me just standing out in the middle of some snow. It was fairly cold one day, and that night, boom, the snow hit, covered the ground, covered the tent. We did have satellite phone, and as the snow was falling on the tent, I actually was able to call your mom and let her know, hey man, it's snowing, it's beautiful out here, it's so quiet. And this is, our tent is at the end of the runway, a little down to help protect it from the wind as much as we possibly could. But the day that we actually got the moose, the snow had almost melted all the way out. And there's some of the most beautiful scenery you have ever got. Here we are glassing for moose from our little airstrip. And we would stand here and we would look for moose all day with our binoculars. We had a spot scope because the moose had to be 50 inches wide, or at least 3 brow tines on each side. And this is me and Joe Coriel, one of my hunting partners, out here looking for this moose. And if you see in between my legs, Joe is the one with the spot scope. I'm the one on the left. I'm holding this cone, which is actually a moose call that you use to call the moose, and it's pretty effective, believe it or not. I was kind of skeptical, but we did call smaller moose into our camping area. Just none of them were 50 inches. All the 50 inches were with cows like 2 miles off and back. And this is me where we finally got this moose down. We spotted him. We talked about going up because it was a long trip. We did have to go across the creek. Again, it was, according to the GPS, 1.87 miles. We just always say 2 miles away. And again, he's over 53 inches. One of the biggest moose that I was able to kill. Well, the biggest moose I was able to kill out of the 3. And back behind us, I got a picture coming up. So from the blue line, from the top of his skull to the end of the blue line where our camp was, that was actually where our tent was located. So we had to go, you see the arrow saying river bottom, so that's the river bottom. We had to go down a ravine, cross this Roosevelt Creek, come back up through this tundra. And the tundra, it's not as flat as you would like. It is knotty, it's knobby, grass tufts are everywhere, it's muddy, you're sinking up to your knees. It makes it more challenging than what you think. And of course, us being silly, we took our American flag and our mega hats in there just to have a little fun. On the left, we have Scott Navratil, good buddy of mine, taxidermist, retired Air Force. On the right, the moose is Joe Coriel again. And of course, that's me in the middle, just being silly. Wanted to do something with this flag and show how big he was. And again, the scenery around it is just beautiful. When you just glance around, you don't see anybody. There's no vehicles. You'll see a few planes every once in a while. but it's just wide open. And you see moose, you see caribou, we saw wolves, we saw lynx or a bobcat. So far, we couldn't really tell. Never saw a bear, but we did see bear sign, especially once we got inside that river bottom right there. And we came across an old cabin. I wish we'd have got pictures of it, but we did not. We were just too wore out. This thing took us 3 days to hike out between the three of us. Here's me with the moose antlers and some moose meat in my backpack. That's the creek bottom. We done climbed down, and while the creek itself was not real deep, it did get to knee deep in some areas, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is those rocks are slippery. They're wet, got a little slime growing on them in some areas, and you just got to be careful. You get a real bad situation because while it's not deep, if you get wet, and we're talking, 35 degrees to 25 degrees changes, you can get into hypothermia. So we always had to be real careful. We had our walking staffs. We had each other, always looking for the easiest place. But as you can see, once we got out of this creek bank, we got to go through the alders. We got to go through these cedars. We still got a little more up and down to come out before we come back up on this ridge. And even once we come back on the ridge, we still have a mile to hike these things. And we're talking about over 100 pounds in our backpack. And that's not even counting the moose antlers. But again, this just doesn't do justice to the scenery and the quiet and the solitude that we were able to get when we were out here. And all of a sudden, we get back to camp and we get a small break in weather, and it is just beautiful. The sun's coming down. We just got through with a slight rain, snow mixture, and now we have this beautiful rainbow that just came out of nowhere. We were lucky enough to be able to get this on camera. It looks like it was right at the end of our runway. And right here where these moose antlers are, you couldn't see, but there were blueberry bushes mixed in with those. And here we are out of the woods, finally out of the tundra. And this is me holding this thing, filthy, smelly, tired. And right before the three of us go to Taco Bell, and all three of us order a family style box of Taco Bell. Fantastic. Oh, now we have the other smaller moose up on the wall. I don't even remember what the measurement of this was, but this was another fun trip. This one was actually taken out of the Wood River drainage that we flew into, and 5 of us went on that. We had me, Scott Navratil, of course, Joe Coriel, of course. We always seem to do a lot of hunting together. And then we had Walters, and we had Javier. Here's me finally with this moose, and it's my first moose. And what was so funny is me and Scott Navratil go one way, the other 3 guys go one way, each up onto our own little knoll. And we're probably about a mile apart. And on top of this knoll that we're at, this moose is hidden at the bottom of it. We can't see him from where we're at. The other 3 guys looking back at us, they see him. And they shoot up in the air, and they're yelling at us, and we got our binoculars, and we're looking at them. And when they start shooting, we think they've got one. And we're like, yeah, okay. And just like 50 yards, 100 yards, this thing was sitting right below our knoll, not able to be seen by us. And all of a sudden, he just steps out. I don't know if they're shooting and they're yelling. Finally spooked me a little bit, but he walked out and we were right on top of him. And Scott Navratil looks at me, and this is my first moose and my first moose hunt. He's like, dude, this is your chance. Get him, get him, get him. And I was able to get him, put him down right where he was. Good, clean, ethical kill. And of course, this is where the work actually begins. This is all the fun part. People always say, man, I bet you had a fun time. No, it's not fun. It's fun after the hunt, about a week later, because here we are. This is just the four legs. This isn't even counting the back strap, the tenderloin. This isn't counting the antlers. And as you can see, these things are pretty big. I mean, the legs they're the size of me. We got this tied up to help us better quarter him out, try to bone as much as we can, and get it into our backpacks. The guy right here, that's Walters, Francis Walters. Good guy. He was our chief, our boss at work. And here's me with the antlers. Finally at camp at our hooch, which you'll get another picture of in here in a little bit. Francis Walters, great guy, had a diabetic episode while we were in there. We didn't even know he was diabetic, and finally somebody figured it out. We went digging through his equipment and found his insulin shot. We had to give him an insulin shot and give him a bunch of sugar from like the drink Tang and some Starburst. And here is our totem pole of our moose. So on top we got Scott Navratil's moose. We got Joe Coriel's moose. We got Walter's moose. I think then we got mine. And then we got Javier. All five of us took a moose. The guy, when he landed us, was like, y'all be lucky to get one. But he underestimated our hunting skills, and we all went out and got a moose. This is our hooch in the back, just a bunch of tarps, tied up logs to help keep us out of the rain because it was wet almost the entire time. And on this one, there's only 4 antlers. We still haven't got Javier's antlers. And it's Scott's on top, then mine, then Joe's, Walter's. And then this is a ram skull that I found when we were out here, and then some other caribou antlers we found out here. Great hunt for all 5 of us. Again, the guide, when he landed back, he wasn't a guide, he was a air taxi. When he landed, he was like, I can't believe y'all got this, because these aren't guided hunts, these are do-it-yourself hunts. And this one is my little bitty spike moose. This was down on the Kenai Peninsula, going to lunch, me, Jennifer, Dylan and Dalton, real little, had them in the car, and we passed this thing. Got a little bitty spike I'm holding on to, and it was a spike only area. And we pulled over. I went to shoot him. Jennifer's like, is this legal? So she made me prove it was legal by having to go all the way down the road and find the hunting race to show it was legal, drive all the way back. He's still there, and I shot him. And at the time, there was a book called If You Give a Moose a Muffin. And the boys started laughing when he fell. And Jennifer turned around and was like, what happened? And Dylan was like, Daddy gave that moose a muffin. And everybody just started laughing. Then we drove to the restaurant, ordered lunch. I got on the phone, because back then we didn't have cell phones on us with good reception like we do nowadays. So I had to actually use their phone, call a buddy, say, hey, I need you to come out here and help me get this moose off the side of the road. And so by the time we got through eating, he arrived, and then we were able to go get this moose quartered up. Just another good time down on the Kenai Peninsula. But that's my 3 moose that I was able to get while I was there, and just enjoy that whole time. A lot of work once you get one. But the experience and the fun and the camaraderie that you have with your group was amazing. But that's it. Moose hunting.